Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back. Welcome back to another trading session. Well, it is Wednesday. Wednesday, the middle of the week. The NFP week. So keep in mind that this should be probably your last trading session for the week. Eventually, whatever you can encounter on Thursday will probably be a low probability environment. So keep that in mind. And yeah, I hope you're doing well. I hope everything is going well with you as well. And yeah, let's do a recap from yesterday's work here on the account. So yeah, we managed to long the market around here. So we got stopped out, and then I guess it was here. Yeah, it was here. I kind of longed the market here, expecting for a move higher, but yeah, I was kind of off with my bias because I expected a bearish bias, and then I saw that price was coming to the upside aggressively. Tried to continue here with a long. It didn't work. We flipped and maintained our bearish bias, and then we had this horrible price action for about an hour, and we managed to go break even here around here. So the rest of the day I did some mini scalps here. That's why you can see that the P&L still green here. But yeah, break even from yesterday's price action. And now what do we have? Let's get into the 15-minute just to show you. So 15-minute here, Asia came here to the NWOG. It kind of faked out the downside here and pushed once again to the upside, but it kind of stopped here at event horizon. As you can see, London manipulated lower, eventually taking out all these lows here, and then we are moving higher. So what do I like to see? What would be great to see? Well, I really would like to see these relative equal highs as our main draw on liquidity, and eventually a touch inside this NWOG. So I would like to see this 1 hour fair value gap being inverted or eventually being tested, at least at its midpoint. But for that to happen, I would like to see a purge of sell side liquidity first. So we have event horizon here, which can eventually hold price. Notice how we are moving to lower since 8:30, yeah, 8:40. A lot of liquidity, a lot of stops here already. So right at the open, I would like to see price coming a little bit lower, eventually taking out regular trading hour sessions, sell side liquidity, and then move to the upside with a inversion type of setup. It can happen that we will ignore it and we will head higher, but I would like to see a first move to the downside here, eventually for this sell side point here that you can see, and eventually it would be acceptable for price to come for 50% of this weekly wick that we can see here. Let me just zoom in a little bit. So right now we are working this wick here, as you can see. So if we zoom in into the 1 hour time frame, you can see that these levels are more or less being respected. 75%, 50%, 25%. So let's see. Let's wait and see if we can get a move lower first and then a reversal type of setup. I would like to see a similar thing on NQ as well. But let's wait. So on a regular trading hour, we took this minor sell side point here. Let me just check Y and Q. Take this out from here. Yeah, on NQ. I guess we already took it out. Let me get back to ES. And let's wait. I will wait a little bit more. I would like to see this being attacked first and then eventually move higher. So I will rather wait before something delivers. So I will mark the 9:30 open as well here. So far a big open. Nothing to work with. So far event arising is kind of holding price here. NQ seems a bit heavier than ES. So far NQ is pushing a little bit to the downside here. ES trying to hold still. Yeah, but so far, nothing is happening here. We are still inside the opening range. NQ trying to push a little bit further down here. Probably trying to push ES to that sell side liquidity. Let me just take a look at YM and see what YM is doing. Yeah, YM came straight down and eventually taking, not taking, it didn't take these highs here. So back to ES. At this point, ES already took sell side liquidity. We left relative equal highs here. We left these highs as well. So let's see how far we can go on this move here. So the first low hanging fruit is taking here. Let's see if we get our first presented fair value gap here. I need to see closure. Yeah, there we go. First presented fair value gap. And Q still pushing below. Still pushing to the downside here. So we have a lot of pre-market lows here as well. Let's see if ES wants to go a little bit lower since NQ is pushing. Or if we can somehow displace to the upside. So far looking good. We just take a look at YM. YM still pushing to the downside here. Not the best action. Yes, trying to hold here the first presented fair value gap. The problem here is YM that's really pushing. That NQ pushing to the upside as well. Nice push here. But so far, 8:30 being rejected, 9:30 as well. So price is not able to close above them. Event horizon trying to hold price here. Let me take a look at YM. If YM is still bearish here, it is. So YM definitely the weakest one. Yes, getting a rejection here at 8:30, 9:30 as well. Going for another drive low. Yeah, in fact, we still have some liquidity here, some pre-market lows. So we might go a little bit lower first if we are still bullish. It would be acceptable for price to come at least until midnight open and eventually react at midnight open. So at this point, I will wait, not rushing into anything. Probably we will get the setup at 9:50 in between 9:50 to 10:10. Let me just go once again here at the regular trading hour. So we took out sell side liquidity here. We still have this low here, which I believe we will take. So right now we have this bearish fair value gap. Let's see if this one holds or if we will invert it. And keep pushing higher. Yes, as well. Let me just see YM. Price was able to get above and close above it. Let's see if we respect the midpoint of it. If not, I will wait a bit more. Because right now this this price action is kind of tricky. These pre-market highs, I can see them being hit. The problem here is where can we enter, since price is doing its back and forth action. Getting better now. So we traded above first presented fair value gap. We are trying to get below 930 open as well. So now I would like to see all this liquidity getting taken out. Let's see if we can hold 830 open. 930 as well. At this point, I would like to see price coming straight to pre-market highs. We also have these relative equal highs here that I would like to see targeted. At this point, we need to take some profits here. There we go. And let's see if we can let the runner run a bit until buy side liquidity here, these relative equal highs. I said in the first minutes of the stream that I would like to see this fair value gap, the 1 hour, being inverted. So let's wait a little bit. Let me just show chart executions. There we go. So yeah, everything according to plan right now. Price behaved a little bit weirdly here in the first minutes, but sometimes it is what it is. So notice that since the account is still in drawdown, I did not over leverage. I just entered it with 4 micros. So so I will see how price will react as soon as we enter this 1 hour fair value gap. Price is just pushing right now. So in terms of projection, let me just take a projection here just to see how far price can go. So implied fib, this one right here, or this one right here. Yeah, this one right here seems to be the most logical one. Price still moving to the upside. So we are inside the 1 hour fair value gap. But we still have some liquidity to take out. At least these relative equal highs. We are also inside a macro, so I will stretch my take profit a little bit further here. So price reaching for these relative equal highs just as expected. Let's see if we can trade into the midpoint of that fair value gap. I would like to see, at this point, I would like to see the NWOG being tapped as well. Let's just see if we can get a one-sided move to -2 standard deviation. This might be a pit stop here for price action. So these bullish PD arrays, they should hold price still. And let me take a look at the 15-minute just to see where price can eventually stop. Yeah, -2 standard deviation, 2.5 standard deviation would be great to see. But I'm content if price really comes here for -2. NQ still has some liquidity to take out as well. So far, this is a good reaction on price. We'll stretch it a little bit further. Just a little bit more on NQ. And I guess I'm content with this one here. So we'll probably close the trade here. There we go. So it can run a bit more, but I'm content with this one. It was a nice trade. Could eventually held a little bit more, but it was enough. So yeah, guys, I guess I was a little bit more aggressive, but everything happened according to plan. So I was aiming for a regular trading hour session sell side liquidity purge first. My bias was bullish. So as soon as I saw the price kind of supported around event horizon and around 9:30 open, I entered, and yeah, it was a one-sided move, straight towards -2 standard deviation. So it was a nice trade. I could have eventually held a little bit more, or could eventually not take those aggressive partials here at pre-market highs. But yeah, those are the rules, and I'm not willing to open anything away from those rules. So the position sizing was kind of small. I went with 4 micros only. But yeah, kind of recouped the drawdown that we were in, and yeah, it was a nice play here, honestly. So 30 minutes and 30 minutes in, and I guess the day is done here. Now I will just see what price still wants to do, but will not try to engage in anything more than what I've done already. It's an aggressive move here, taking out some liquidity. 10 a.m. candle, just doing whatever it wants to do. I guess this is the news driver, the 10 a.m. news driver. And yeah, we kind of had some news driver, but everything was so clean that I decided to play with the news. So the news was our fuel driver here. I believe this can eventually be an entry for a continuation long. So yeah, guys, now I'm just waiting for nothing, honestly, because my expectations on price action are done. Pre-market highs were smashed, relative equal highs were smashed, and I believe we will go higher. But honestly, I'm not into anything more. So a harsh retrace now, since we took out relative equal highs here. Would be curious to see if price really comes down and eventually goes for a move lower. But I don't believe it will happen at this point. Notice how the projection here, we stopped here, kind of stopped around here. Then we followed through -2 and then back to the silver bullet zone, which is -1 to -1.5. So this here will eventually give us an entry to a continuation trade. This might be the continuation trade that everybody is trying to catch to previous day high, which has some confluence with -4 standard deviation. There we go. See. It's a beautiful price action right from the open. Price really doing what it's supposed to do. And yes, moving higher now. There we go. Nice continuation. But since the day is done here, I'm just on the sidelines, just watching it, not doing anything more. We will probably stop at -2 standard deviation once again. So right at the first minutes of the stream, I said that I would like to see this 1 hour fair value gap being inverted. And yeah, it's happening. It will take some time, I believe. Or it can be just like this. So we traded into it. We retraced a little bit lower than the midpoint, above it, retracing once again and move to the upside. It can present something like that, since we still are inside a macro, but it usually takes a little bit more time than that. So another harsh retrace here. But as you can see, bullish PD arrays are being respected. Its midpoint, the midpoints are being respected here. This is a breakaway gap, which is the most bullish or bearish. In this case, it's the most bullish signal in price. Whenever we leave these fair value gaps open, you can mark them as a bullish momentum here, which happened, and then price never. If I zoom out a little bit here, I mean, if I zoom in here, you can see that, okay, price just closed in a shy way below the midpoint of this fair value gap, but right away it came to the upside. Okay, the wicks here did some damage, which is permissible. And now look at how price is not able to close below the midpoint. So this is a signal that price is kind of still bullish. But right now we have to look at the greater scheme of things. This shaded area, this big shaded area is a new weak opening gap. So this new weak opening gap can offer us some sort of a retrace as well. It can act as a magnet on price, which it did. As soon as we rejected here, as soon as we, damn, as soon as we rejected event horizon here, we tried to go below it, but as soon as I saw this green candle closing above the first presented fair value gap, that was my entry. It was closing above event horizon and right above 930 open as well. So this to me was my trigger. This inverted fair value gap as well. The regular trading hour session sell side liquidity as well. So these things here that you can see here, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, these 5 things were my trigger for a move higher. And we had these clean pre-market highs as well, this trend line liquidity here. So everything was acting as a big magnet on price. So Wick's trying to get below the midpoint of this fair value gap, but not reaching for it. On NQ, the lower hanging fruits are done, I believe. We can eventually go higher, but it will take some more time. It will not be that easy as we saw in the first minutes. So Wick's doing damage, getting outside of the first presented fair value gap, which is still permissible. But look how price just stopped right at the end of the macro as well. So these are all signs that we will need to stop a little bit, despite still being bullish. So what about you guys? Have you done anything yet? Are you just still waiting for something? I can see that some of you are bearish. There are some guys that marked as a bearish. As a bearish bias. And Keel looking a bit heavy, but I still believe it will go a little bit more to the upside. And yeah, YM was not behaving well in the first minutes, as you can see here. And it's suddenly displaced higher with a lot of strength to the upside. So I guess we were on point. And let me just mark one more thing here for those who probably are asking, what are these levels here? These are the quadrants of the wick, of the weekly wick that price was working during the London in Asia. And if you can see here, we respected 25% of it. Price came down here, but it went a little bit shy, and it did not reach for 50%, which could eventually be a sign of bullishness. And then we just displaced to the upside, completely disrespecting the 75% quadrant. And now look where price is kind of supporting now. It's supporting on the top of the wick. So the last quadrant of the wick is serving as support on price. So I would not like to see price coming down once again here. I would like to see this 100% serving as support on price and eventually projecting price a little bit more to the upside. Once again, price not being able to close below the midpoint of this fair value gap. I will take this out from here. This one right here as well. So it can happen if you look into the 15 minutes. It can happen that price will stay here for a while, generating some more liquidity, and then suddenly, because if you look at the 15-minute, we have. Let me just open the 15-minute just to. So as you can see here, so price came down here. This is a 15-minute order block. These 4 down close candles displays higher, and now it can happen that we will stay here for a while, then eventually retrace, and boom, push to the upside, because now we will form some sort of a bullish 15-minute fair value gap, and we need to have some liquidity here. If we are still bullish, we need to gather some more sellers, entice them into selling, giving them some sort of hope, and then take out all those stops that those sellers will put probably around here. So that's why it will probably take some more time. If you are a scalper, you probably can eventually profit from some minor retrace lower, but I would not advise you to short here. Hello, Pablo. How you doing today? Welcome, brother. So you're talking about a breaker on NQ. Let me just open the NQ chart just to see. Are you talking about the 15 minutes? Oh yeah, I can see what you're talking about. This one, right? On the 15-minute. So yeah, this can eventually act as a bearish breaker. This last candle here. So we kind of tapped into it, retraced lower. But yeah, if we are still bullish, we should hold here. Oops. Let me just zoom in a bit. We should hold here this 15-minute fair value gap. And it might be normal to see price doing something like this and then move a little bit higher, targeting these highs here eventually. But it can happen if we are not, if we are still bearish, yeah, then we will eventually fall down here, take out this liquidity, take out these lows, because these lows are kind of smooth as well. But looking into a higher perspective, I can see price coming a little bit higher eventually. We kind of closed above this volume imbalance. But yeah, right now we need some time. But I can see what you're talking about. Yeah, I can see. The problem is that for a bearish narrative, you don't want to see this type of price action here, where new lows will get eaten right away. I mean, and if you look at NQ is still strong to the upside as well. But yeah, I believe that it will take a little bit more time. Just like I said some minutes ago, when the price was around here, I said that it will probably take more time inside this 1 hour fair value gap just to get rid of it. It usually takes takes some time. It usually takes some time. It doesn't work like this usually. It usually takes a little bit more time just to generate some more liquidity, it will do some fake outs to the upside, to the downside, and then eventually it will decide what to do. Yeah, so far the low has been taken. We kind of reclaimed this bullish fair value gap, which was the one holding price. But I would rather wait for the next macro before heading into something here. And if we take a look at the projections here, yeah, we can see that price came for minus 2 point standard deviation with this a plague here, and then retrace right away into the silver bullet zone. It kind of wicked, did some lower damage into this area as well, but yeah, I believe we are still heading to the upside. But yeah, just like I said, I would rather wait for the next macro, because we can eventually do something like this, coming lower once again and generating a little bit more liquidity until 1050, because that's what price has been doing lately. And looking at the 15-minute, it's a typical, it's kind of a typical accumulation structure right now, which you have the order block for consecutive down close candles. You have the fair value gap. It was tapped already, so yeah, it might work. But usually when price, after a big large candle like this, usually price tends to take some time here. But if we move straight away from here, it will be a sign that price is really bullish. So let's see. Yeah, what about you guys? Have you done anything yet? Are you just waiting for the next long, or what are you waiting for? Yeah, my bias was bullish since the beginning, and this move to the downside kind of confirmed my bullish bias. It's a pre-market move to the downside, leaving some clean relative equal highs here on the pre-market session. This kind of confirmed that I was bullish for the initial move, especially the initial move of the market. And yeah, I just was waiting for regular trading hour session to be purged, honestly. Because if you look into the regular trading hour session, so we opened at 9:30, which is here. Yeah, we opened right here, which is here we have the opening range gap. And we had all this liquidity, this low, this low, this low. So I waited for a move lower from ES. And then it kind of presented us with a bearish fair value gap here. It kind of inverted it, but right away another down close candle happened, and I was okay. It's not safe yet to put my stop loss, so we can eventually go for these lows once again. But it happened that price displaced once again to the upside, reclaiming the inversion of this fair value gap and closing above the first presented and closing above event horizon as well. So this to me was the trigger to get in. I was kind of aggressive here. As you can see, I opened on a green candle, and usually we should wait for a red candle to open long positions. But if I had waited just like I usually do, I would have missed the entire move and would have been caught probably inside this mess right here, right now. So yeah, see how price is behaving here. Not a clean run, giving us harsh retracements. So as I was expecting it will take some time here. So I would rather wait for 1050 to get into something. It will probably offer us something more clean and cleaner than this price action here. It doesn't mean that if you get into anything but a large stop loss, it will probably work, but it will also ruin your risk to reward. So you want something that gives you a lower risk. And yeah, the only entry here in this accumulation would be just like this. But yeah, as I told you some streams ago, whenever you open or whenever you want to open a position, just ask yourself, would you be surprised if your stop loss get hit? And if the answer is no, then you should not open the position. Your answer to that question should be, yeah, I would be quite surprised if my stop loss gets hit. So see price coming down once again. And yeah, I decided to take out and not wait for minus 2.5 standard deviation because this shaded area here, which is an NWOG, price usually reacts to it in a harsh way, especially on its first touches. As soon as it touches for the first time or the second or even the third time, it will react somehow. That's why I decided to get out of the position right at right here, right before touching the NWOG. See the follow through here. It's kind of weak. It can be. It can also be something like this, where price just keeps grinding higher, but keeps creeping higher as well. It usually happens in between the macros, in between 950 to 1050. So between those two. Uh, see, coming down once again. It's yeah, I'm glad I took the aggressive entry here and decided not to wait for this. This usually takes a lot of mental capital to hold. And I'm not a big fan of trades that take a lot of mental capital. Let's see if price wants to get in the 1 hour fair value gap once again. Seems like it. It kind of held. Got a hold here. The new high here on S. Let's just see if this holds. Or typical behavior from prices whenever we are grinding here like this is making a new high, and now moving down, coming once again down. This is usually the behavior of these types of runs outside of the macro, especially when we take highs out. Well, guys, since there's no action here, and I believe I have nothing more to do here, I guess I will end the stream a little bit sooner here as well. I still believe we will go higher. Uh, it will probably not be a straight move to the upside. It will take out some lows, mark new highs. It's going to be somehow a high resistance move. But yeah, I still believe in higher prices and eventually reaching for previous day high or -4 standard deviation, which has some confluence with the midpoint of this NWOG as well. So for me, that's it for today. I guess I have better things to do as well. So instead of watching this boring price action, I guess I will do other things. So guys, if you like the stream so far, if you like the way I read price and the way I trade, yeah, just leave a like, follow, and yeah, if you can recommend this channel to anybody else who's into trading, yeah, that would be nice as well. So thank you very much for being there. Pablo, thank you very much as well. Have a nice afternoon, and yeah, hope to see you tomorrow once again. Keep in mind that tomorrow will be Thursday pre NFP, so we might not trade. I will be tape reading, but will probably not trade because it will probably be a low probability session. So we have to always have the protocol in our minds. So NFP will be on Friday. So we probably stay better not to risk ourselves into low probability sessions, just like it is on usually on Thursdays pre NFP. So yeah, guys, thank you very much. See you tomorrow, Pablo. Have a nice day as well. See ya, and yeah, thank you for being there as well. So stay safe. Thank you.